Hello and welcome to Taffy Crafting. My name's Donna. It's very late at night. I'm the only one up and all I can hear, and you might be able to hear this, is the dog snoring and the rain absolutely lashing at the window. Tomorrow is my last day at college before we finish for the holidays, and I decided to make some teacher gifts because I'm a teacher and I want to give my fellow teachers a gift. So there's a few of us in the staff room that I work closely with, and I've made this. I've not designed this myself, so I'm not going to take credit for this. This comes from something that I saw a crafter called Innova Crafts. I don't know where they originate from, even what country they originate from. There was no dialogue on the video, but I absolutely loved the bag. As you can see, it's got a gusset to it, and it's got a bit of a bottom. I've put some sweets in here, and then I've just created a gift tag as well and put some ribbon on. So I've made 5 of these, so I'm just about to do number 6, which will be the last one, and then I can go to bed. So let me show you how I made it. No cutting, no trimming, although we'll just adjust the camera slightly so you can see what's going on. How does that look? Right, it's going to be very difficult to get all of this on. Let me just adjust it a little bit more, sorry. I don't want to adjust it too much because then you get to see my incredibly untidy desk. But actually, it looks like everything is out of the way there. So, 1 sheet of designer series paper. So no trimming, no cutting, no scoring. Very, very simple. Choose which side of the paper you want. I'm going to go with this. I've already had a disaster with one of them that I made, and that the print was upside down, and it's like, oh, do you know what, we're just going with it. Hopefully they won't notice. So the first thing I do, I start off by making 2 very small creases right at the very centre of the top and at the bottom. So I don't crease all the way down. Try not to get my head in the way. I don't crease all the way, from top to bottom. Just literally just there and there, just so I can see where I'm going to put at the edge of my paper. So you take one side and then you fold it over to meet those crease marks, which with black paper is quite tricky to see. I've tried it with white, it's just as difficult. So you could perhaps make a pencil mark or something. But it's important that this runs pretty much down the centre of the paper. So there we have that. Before I turn that round, I'm just going to run some double-sided tape as close to that edge as possible. That could probably be closer, but I'm trying not to get my head in shot. Plus I want to get this right because I've got no more paper, I've got no more ribbon, I've got no more glimmer paper to make the tags, so this is going to be right. And it's late, I'm not making any more. So I've run that along there like that. And the next thing I'm going to do before I take that release paper off is that I'm going to fold that over there just so it goes past that double-sided tape. Then make your crease. If you try and do that when you've already taken the release paper off, it's very difficult to fold. I know that because I've done it and then I had to throw a piece of paper away. So I'm just burnishing that crease there, just with the back of the bone folder. Then take the release paper off. And then just stick that to there, like that. Then you make sure that it's the right way up, which is what I didn't do on one of the others. The next thing you're going to do is fold this up by 2 inches. To make sure I've got that inch up there. So this is going to get folded up 2 inches. I'm just going to grab my ruler. It doesn't have to be exact. but it gives you, there's nowhere near, but it does give you, you know, an idea of something to aim for. It's just a little bit more. That will do. So it doesn't have to be exact. That 2 inches just tells you how big your bottom is. I wish mine was 2 inches. So just then fold that down there like that. Now what we've got to do with this now is what I call creating a mouth. And we're just going to push. Oops, that doesn't want to bend. Just going to push those in like that. When you do that, make sure that that corner comes all the way out. This score line, match it to that fold there. I'm still not certain that's going to come out there, it's not behaving. Match that score line and then push that corner out. So keep hold of that, burnish that, push that into there, and then push that up to there. They've all behaved beautifully until I want to film it. Again, push that corner out there. This one's going to behave much better. You've got a score line there, or a fold line. Just then match that to this fold line that you've got here. Push that out there. And then fold these. Right, need the ruler back. So let's look at this here. So you've got a fold here. And what I want you to do is measure. Now I've lost my pencil. I want you to measure just 1 centimetre down from that fold line there and just make a mark. I don't know if you can hear that, but that is my dog snoring. And then another fold line here and just measure 1 centimetre up. I'm not going to be impressed when I replay this video and all I can hear is my dog snoring. Make sure I'm in shot there. So we're going to fold that over there. Make sure that is horizontal, or as accurate as you can get it. And then you're going to fold that one up to that pencil line there. So don't worry about making pencil lines, they're not going to be seen. That is completely on the inside of the bag. And we're going to fold along there. So the next thing we're going to do is take some, I'm using double-sided tape. You could use wet glue if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. And then just run some adhesive up there. But you don't want it here because it will then stick to that side and then it won't be able to, it'll just stick to the bottom of the box, of the bag rather, and that won't work. I don't know if you can hear that, that's the rain lashing on the window. Craft rooms are supposed to be peaceful, and I've come in here and the weather and the dog is making it rather noisy. Right, so I've taken those off and I'm just going to fold that over like that. Make sure they're folded down. And then with this one, just going to run that along there. Next time I place my order with Stampin' Up, I'm going to get some of their tear and tape, but I had so much of this left over that I'm just getting it used up. But tear and tape would be so much easier because then I wouldn't have to keep snipping it. So I'm just going to release that. while I'm doing this, this is a bag not necessarily for teacher gifts at Christmas. This is something that you can use for teacher gifts at any time of year. I'm just using Christmas paper here because it's Christmas. You could use this for anything, even a child's gift, children's gifts at a party, anything like that. So the next thing I want to do, I've got the bottom of my bag sorted. I've then got to sort out the side gussets. Oh, not by doing that, I've forgotten something. This point here, or this side here, we're going to fold it so that it runs alongside that other folded edge. You're going to push that down. We're starting to deal here now with multi-layers of paper, so it does start to fight you. And you just have to stay in control of it. Remind it who's in charge. And then just fold that equal distance all the way up to the top. And really what you're aiming for is for that fold to be nice and flush against the top there. And I'm just trying to get that crease line nice and crisp. And I'm going to do the same on there. So this folded edge here, up against that stuck edge there. And then fold that over. Good job we've got these lines here on this musical note paper. I know then that I've got it completely square right up to the top. Look at that. And then I'm just going to crisp up that crease. Now I can deal with the side gussets. So I'm going to open that up there and I'm going to get my hand inside. Just open it up a bit so the bag then forms its bottom. Just push those down and then we've got a crease that's pointing upwards. I now want that to point inwards. So we have to fight with it a bit. And this is when it's going to start getting noisy. What you want to avoid is distressing the rest of the paper. And when you've got thin paper, well not thin paper, but when you've got paper that isn't card, that doesn't make sense either, does it? But when you're using this kind of paper, you run the risk of distressing other parts of it. But this project really wouldn't work with card. I don't think it would anyway, especially when you see the next stage that we're going to do. So that's created those side gussets there. You just want to just crisp up those edges. There we go, that's done that. Then we've got a nice bag. Like that. At that point you need to put the gift in. So I've got my nice Christmassy chocolates, which I'm going to pop into there. What you want to find now is the seam, you know, when we created this closure here. And you're going to turn the whole thing round and now flatten this down here. And what we're going to do is create that concertina effect that we've got there. So start by folding over 1 centimetre. Just quickly measure that, but I think that's about 1 centimetre. It is. Now for this you need these creases to be as crisp as possible because we're really now starting to fight against this paper, and we're going to do this 8 times. So that's once, that's twice, that's 3 times, 4, 5, 6, 7, and finally 8. So I've started there so that my last fold is then on the side of the bag that does not have that seam. At this point I actually want to stand it up, but then you won't be able to see what's going on. So at this point you now want to start just opening out that fan there like that. And it creates a kind of, I think it creates a kind of bow effect there really. So there's that. I now want to get some ribbon. Now for this one I was using this really pretty silver ribbon, but I ran out, so I've had to just go to my craft stash and grab some other stuff which isn't as nice. So I've cut off a length of that, ready to tie up, but also I want to show you the tag topper punch which I've got there. I've got a piece of glimmer paper which is 2 inches wide, and I've written a message on it. That's created a tag. And then just put that on there like that. Hope you can see what's going on there. I've got to stand it up to be able to do this. And then you want to pull it tight. You see like that? And I'm just going to do a bow like that. It's not worked, I've not got that tight enough. This doesn't want to play ball with me right now, that's because it's on camera. I'm going to have to do battle with that off camera, but that's really how I finished that. I just finished it with a bow, pulled up the concertina like that to get the effect like that. So I hope you like this project. So it is something that I've pinched from somebody else, and I've just put some dialogue on it so that you can see what's going on. Thank you ever so much for stopping and watching, and please subscribe if you want to see some other videos. Thank you very much. Bye bye.